I was going to say,
I would.
This mother. Son. Ah!
Hey, stop that woman from leaving the room. She should be arrested.
That's not more.
Whether it's in real life or on the internet, at some point, we've nearly all encountered a Karen. They can be some of the most unreasonable people to deal with and have a way of making an already bad situation even worse. But sometimes even the most obnoxious Karens meet their match, and often this happens inside a courtroom. So let's take a look at the most jaw-dropping moments from Karens who got owned by the judges. The term Karen has become a huge part of popular culture, thanks mainly to social media. It's a slang word used to describe a particular type of person, and where a Karen goes, trouble usually follows. Now, we don't literally mean that every person named Karen behaves like the ones we'll see today, but the term has definitely been used to describe those who are demanding and entitled. Usually, Karens complain, make unreasonable demands, and often ask to speak with a manager or authority figure in various customer service or public situations. The term also has its critics, with many saying that it creates negative stereotypes and prompts negative behavior towards individuals who might bear the name. But generally, it's used for fun and intended to be a harmless way of calling out people who are being obnoxious and downright rude. There are also male versions of Karens, and we like to call them Kevins. Together, they can cause chaos in the courtroom. As this first case proves, honesty is not always the best policy. When one defendant failed to appear in court the first time around, this judge had plenty to say.
I was paying. I just missed the court date. I got caught up Thanksgiving. You're absolutely forgotten.
What am I supposed to do? What does the victim in your case wants her money?
But this judge wasn't just having a bad day. He was standing up for the rights of the victim in this case.
I have to answer to them. They say, Judge, he doesn't pay. What are you doing about it, Judge? What are you doing?
And some cases can even get a little extreme, like when this next defendant pretends like he's having a mental episode. At first, everything seems fine, but when the defendant's lawyer starts to speak, chaos follows.
I have reason to believe that competency is an issue in this case.
Well, I was going to say,
I would.
This mother. Son. Ah!
James Holmes is one of the most infamous names on this list. On July 20th, 2012, a mass tragedy occurred inside a Century 16 movie theater in Aurora, Colorado, United States, and Holmes was the man responsible. The trial would attract media from all over the world, and after he was found guilty, he would once again face a judge to find out his final punishment at his sentencing. District Attorney George Brochler was arguing against the defense pleas that their client was innocent. He argued, "Is mental illness going to be a shield here to protect someone who had the capacity to make decisions? Nobody in their right mind could plan the massacre of a theater full of human beings. We should take comfort in that. But not having the right mind does not protect you from the ramifications of your decisions." In the courtroom was Deborah Cave, and she voiced her disagreement, disrupting the proceedings.
Mental illness is everything. I'm the right mind to the mother. She's the surrogate. They took it away from me.
She was heard shouting that mental illness is real and that Brochler was wrong. She was held in contempt of court and sentenced to 3 weeks in county jail. This next case starts off like any other, with the defendant appearing a little out of it, but still answering the questions put to him.
He withdrew, so you'll have to hire an attorney.
I don't need an attorney.
But soon the scene turns sour, and the defendant decides to make the situation as difficult as possible.
You're a lawyer?
Nope.
Clearly, this defendant is not ready to cooperate.
Want to talk to me about a bond with me? What do you want to tell me?
About what?
Bond?
Don't really give a to be honest with you.
Cost you 30 days in the county jail for contempt. Cuff him if you got the cuffs.
Now, you'd think that 30 days incarceration for contempt of court would be enough to put anybody in their place, but this Kevin has only just begun.
Hold on, it's $5,000 cash surety bond, subject to the temporary protection order. He just swore at the judge.
The judge gives him his final warning.
Can I give you a piece of advice?
What?
You can either make life easy or you can make life hard.
I already ruined my life.
That's 60. You want to go for 90?
And then the court erupted into chaos.
That's 90 more. That's 180. That's 306.
The defendant ignored the pleas to stop and made things even worse than they already were.
Now I gotta come here and my life up. You.
No, and stop.
How many days you wanna give me now? Are you sure counting?
No.
Yeah, I'm at about a year right now in contempt, so.
All his bad attitude got him was a lengthy stint in jail. Next, another judge intended to keep control of the courtroom when confronted with a Karen. Right from the start, this defendant wants to do things her way, something this judge will not stand for.
Ma'am, please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide will be the truth, whole truth,
But this Karen had other ideas.
and nothing but the truth under penalty of perjury?
Once again, the defendant decided to interrupt the judge.
I would like to call... Ma'am, stop.
And then the defendant gets put in her place by the frustrated judge.
I know you want to control this room, but this isn't Burger King. When the sign changes to Burger King, you can have it your way. Right now, this is my courtroom, and you will answer my questions.
But the defendant would not listen and tried again to take charge, something she would later regret.
Stop. Do you promise to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under penalty of perjury? Yes or no? Again, say anything again without telling me you're going to tell the truth, and I will hold you in contempt of court for 93 days.
But that is nothing compared to the next judge when she faces a woman who wants to do things her way.
For my motion for sanctions against Mr. Nicoletti for this vexatious and frivolous PPO.
I'm sorry, on his what?
This is Miss Stevens, and what she's trying to say is that Mr. Nicoletti has put out a personal protection order against her, otherwise known as a restraining order, but she claims he has no right to, and it should be dismissed.
I have a motion for sanctions against
I know that. And the purpose of the sanctions are based on what?
It was a frivolous and vexatious PPO based on nonsense.
But the judge soon realized something was not right.
I haven't signed a PPO.
His petition for a PPO. Let me.
Okay, were you served?
And then the Karen drops a bombshell.
No, I wasn't, but
No, you may not. How can you ask to sanction someone when you haven't even been served?
That's the point.
Stevens, do not interrupt me when I'm speaking, ma'am.
The courtroom must be tense at this point, but it's about to explode when Miss Stevens unleashes her inner Karen.
I have a constitutional right to be heard.
On what basis? There is no case before me, ma'am, other than the fact that you filed this frivolous motion taking up this court's time for no good reason other than your own personal vendetta against this man for whatever reason you may have, and I really don't care because it does not involve me or my court. However, had I issued a PPO, you would have a basis to be before me. I did not issue a PPO.
The judge wasn't going to let her get away with wasting the court's time. That would be the point that most of us would back off. But this Karen hasn't finished yet, and she won't accept defeat.
I knew it was fixed.
I beg your pardon?
I knew it was fixed.
Miss Stevens, I highly suggest that you just exit my courtroom and go pay the sanctions.
Had Miss Stevens continued, it's likely that she would have been held in contempt of court and faced jail time. Thankfully, she knew when to quit, unlike what we are about to see in this next case. This This is Melissa Carone, who you might remember from one of the most famous court moments of 2020. Carone was representing Donald Trump in the electoral fraud case, and she had made some wild claims about the list of registered voters. Sat with one of Trump's closest allies, Rudy Giuliani, Carone was a contractor for Dominion, who made the voting machines that were used in the 2019 US election. She was being questioned by Michigan Representative Steve Johnson.
The poll book is completely off. Completely off.
Off by
That
30,000?
I'd say that poll book is off by over 100,000.
Carone is trying to claim that a large number of the votes counted were from people who should not have been able to vote.
That poll book, why don't you look at the registered voters on there? How many registered voters are on there? Do you even know the answer to that?
No, I guess I'm trying to get to the bottom of this here.
Zero. There's zero.
Giuliani tries to calm Carone down, but she has only just started.
How many? Wait. What about the turnout rate? 120%.
Let's let Representative Johnson ask his question.
So the poll book number, okay, there's two things that could happen here. Either the poll book number, if ballots were counted multiple times, there's two options. Option number one is that the poll book numbers are not going to match.
They don't.
The actual. Not by thousands and thousands of votes. That's not what we see right now.
Take a look
option
again.
number one.
Take a look again.
Option number two is that they essentially were filling in names of people who didn't vote.
Dead people too?
For everything Johnson says, Carone has an answer for, and even suggests the representative might be involved in the alleged fraud.
We're not seeing the poll book off by 30,000 votes. That's not the case.
What did you guys do? Take it and do something crazy to it?
I'm just saying the numbers are not off by 30,000 votes. So
I know what
are you
I
saying
saw.
that they're filling in?
I know what I saw, and I signed something saying that if I'm wrong, I can go to prison. Did you?
Refusing to believe she is wrong, Carone turns full Karen and blames anyone and everyone instead.
Wildly off, and dead people voted, and illegals voted.
Okay.
So that's my answer.
Next, one clip that sent the internet into a frenzy and became known as the courtroom dive. This next incredible clip is not actually from a courtroom, but from a council meeting in 2007. During the meeting in Carson, California, ex-mayor Vera DeWitt and city commissioner Jan Schaefer had disagreed on several points.
That's all. Thank you. The next speaker is Marvin Clayton.
But before Mr. Clayton can get his chance to speak, DeWitt has one more point to make.
Hey, stop that woman from leaving the room. She should be arrested.
The clip appeared during the early days of YouTube and has become a huge part of internet history, in part thanks to the overreaction from Schaefer. DeWitt was eventually charged with battery, but managed to negotiate a settlement that would avoid legal proceedings. She ended up paying a fine of $1,500 with 100 hours of community service, and she also had to attend anger management classes. When a judge tells you not to treat the courtroom like it's a joke, you'd better listen. Otherwise, the consequences can be costly, as the next young woman discovered.
Money making week approximately?
Approximately about $200 a week.
Okay, and do you own any property of value? A house, a car, a bank account, significant amounts of jewelry?
Yes.
What do you own?
I own a lot of jewelry, all right, as well as
Go ahead.
a car.
Well, how much would you say your jewelry is worth? It's not a joke, you know. We're not in a club now.
For a moment, it looks like she might start taking the proceedings more seriously.
I apologize.
It's all right. How much is your jewelry worth?
Then the defendant delivers a lesson in how to not behave in a courtroom.
It's worth a lot of money.
Like what?
Like Rick Ross.
Huh?
It's worth
Ma'am?
money.
Have you had any kind of in the last 24 hours?
Actually, no.
Actually, no. This is standard bond.
Okay, 5,000 on count one, and then the rest should be ROR.
That would have been the end of the matter, but the defendant decided to joke along one too many times.
Bye-bye.
Adios.
Although the judge sees the funny side, he still wants to teach the defendant a valuable lesson.
Come back, ma'am. Come back. Come back. Give me the paper again. Count one will be 10,000.
Are you serious?
I am serious. Adios.
This would be the point where most of us would accept defeat and move on, but this defendant wants to make life even harder for herself.
Come back again. Come back again. Bring him back again. I believe I heard you saying to...
Yes, I did. I'm not going to do
I believe you... Did you say...
Actually, I
Did you say that?
Yes, sir, I did.
Oh, you did say that? I find you in direct criminal contempt.
She would be sent to county jail for 30 days for her courtroom outburst. Maybe she can spend those 30 days thinking about her bad attitude. Here we meet another defendant who does not know when to quit, leaving the judge to take extraordinary measures to regain control.
Mr. Williams, I'm the judge in the matter. Shut your mouth, and I'll tell you when you can talk. You got it? It's the same rules we played by while we were here in trial, every time we were here for a pretrial. So just follow the same rules. Fair enough? So at this point, I'm going to hear from your lawyers, and that means zip it.
Unfazed, the defendant continued to interrupt the judge.
But you not letting me
That means zip it right now.
You trying to...
Does that make sense?
No, it doesn't.
No.
So the judge spells it out and sounds like he means business.
Listen to me. If we have to, I will gag you in 1 second. Zip it until I give you a chance to talk. You'll get a chance to talk. I am going to give you a chance to talk. Here it is again. So you said to me you understand this comment. Zip it. Let's go back. Zip it. Anything you want to add to your insanity?
But one thing will stop this defendant from talking.
Mr. Williams will have a chance to speak.
You can't blame the judge for losing his cool, but this next judge manages to keep calm in the face of one of the rudest Karens to ever step foot in a courtroom. In a bizarre trial, the defendant turns on her own lawyer.
Why don't you go yourself first?
I'm sorry, ma'am.
I said go yourself.
The lawyer doesn't seem to take offense and calmly continues.
Okay, well, I'm a little busy right now, so I'm not able to do that. Ma'am, I'm just trying to help you.
Ma'am, he's trying to help you, and please don't use profanity or try and disrupt my courtroom, because I don't want to be forced to hold you in contempt of court. But do not have any contact with her, and you must stay away from her home and place of business.
The defendant has said nothing since her first outburst, but she's about to show just how unhinged she really is.
As to the other case...
Who is this Cynthia Cuba? Tell me!
I thought you allegedly tried to hit with the pliers. The other case, F-51-4266, the bond on count one is $5,000.
Please count 2 and 3.
Two is $5,000, and count 3 is $1,000. Have a nice day, ma'am.
The foul-mouthed defendant was lucky to escape without a charge of contempt. We've seen defendants arguing with judges and judges arguing with defendants, but we haven't seen a lawyer turn on a judge. Until now. The problem occurs when the defense team finds out that the original prosecutor was not present and voiced their concerns to Judge Wolliver.
All right, but I would object to going forward anyway right now without the elected county prosecutor who's on this case.
But she chose not to be here.
That's not accurate, Judge.
Okay, okay, your objection's noted.
We had a phone status conference 2 weeks ago in which Ms. Schaefer...
Your objection is noted.
Not content with accepting the judge's word, this determined young lawyer decides to take matters into his own hands. And an unbelievable scene unfolds.
Okay.
I'm not going to participate in this proceeding without the elected county prosecutor. I think this is a sham that you're going forward.
But this judge needs to regain control of his courtroom, and this Kevin is not going to like what he hears.
You're going to sit here.
You were told about her unavailability and specifically told her on the phone not to cancel that appointment, that it wouldn't be a problem.
He clearly has a problem with the proceedings, so he is given an ultimatum.
I'll tell you what, if you want to be here for the decision, that's your business.
Your Honor, I think this is outrageous. You're going forward without.
After he stormed out of the courtroom, the case continued without him. Which leads us to one Karen who gets an attitude adjustment from a no-nonsense judge.
You know what? We're done right there. We're done.
It started off as a normal hearing over child support money. In this case, an ex-wife is asking for more to support her child. She claims her ex-husband can easily afford it.
I'm not 100% sure, but I think it's almost close to 100,000, give or take, maybe 10 to 15.
Okay.
So I feel like I get a measly $600 a month from him. I feel like something's not right.
When the judge asked the ex-husband, he came up with a different figure, claiming to earn $90,000 in a good year.
What is it that you do?
I'm a mechanic.
Okay. All right. So you said 90 on the high end.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, you'd think any working mother would be entitled to a little extra help from her ex-husband. But when the judge asked the ex-wife what she does for a living, her answer shocked the entire courtroom.
What do you do during the day?
Nothing.
You don't want to work?
No.
So you're just living off of his child support?
I am.
The more the ex-wife talks, the more the judge begins to side with the hard-working ex-husband.
We were living with him, and I was a stay-at-home mom. He made the income.
Okay.
But, I mean...
But you can work now, right?
I can, but...
So, it's no but you can go get a job, right?
I could, but I'm not going to. My rent's free, my food is free. I mean, my mom's the homeowner. I don't have to pay nothing.
If this ex-wife had kept her attitude in check, she might have walked away with enough money to support herself and the child. Instead, the judge delivers a settlement that sends the ex-wife into shock.
110. So what I'm going to do is give you credit, actually, for the health insurance coverage for the child. So that will slightly bring your child support down. And monthly, yes, slightly. It's still expensive. $1,093 a month is what he would pay in child support.
That's it?
That's it. Well, it would be more if you get a job.
He would pay more if I got a job?
No, it would be more for the child if you got a job.
Your Honor.
And then the reality of the situation sinks in.
He makes more than that.
Until you bring me something in here to show me that, that's what I'm going to base it off of. And again, you can work.
Finally, we take a look at one man who sent a courtroom into total chaos. Christopher Berger Colon was attending a bond hearing in 2014 for some pretty serious charges, including harming a pregnant woman.
So I'm going to assume you have no money and you have excellent ties to the community.
Yes, Your Honor. Your Honor, I have.
I don't say anything, so don't say anything. Don't say anything, sir, please.
You're already out on bond. You're already out.
Yes, sir. And my bondsman is willing to take me out again on a bond.
That's very kind of him, but that won't be necessary today.
When Colin hears this, he goes into a complete meltdown.
Because you're
I'll see you guys. Well, I'll see you guys in with a lawyer and a lawsuit too.
Oh, wait, bring him back, please.
And you can go yourself too.
Would you bring him back for me, please?
Come back.
Instead of calming down, an irate Colin made things worse. Much, much worse for himself.
Good morning again, Mr. Cologne.
Good morning to you.
Yes, sir. Mr. Cologne. Yeah, don't mute that. Could you turn that mic back on for me? Turn the mic back on.
Suck my. You guys can suck my. You guys can suck my. Okay? I'm being dead ass real. Suck my.
$125,000. Your bond
That's
on
no
count
problem.
2 will be $125,000. Your total
How much is my
bond?
bond?
$250,000.
Colin was sentenced to 1 year in county jail for contempt of court. He later apologized to the judge and the sentence was suspended for time served. Let me know what you think of these outrageous Karens and Kevins in the comment section. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on those notifications so you can keep up with every wild case.